Local governing bodies on the city and county levels have had to make some big decisions in the last 2 months.
Yeah, in Overland Park, the city council also had to replace one of its members. I talked to city leaders to learn how that process is affected by a pandemic. Ward 4 Representative Gina Berg stepped down from the Overland Park City Council recently, and the city charter requires a replacement be found quickly.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good wave at you.
That's great. That's perfectly great.
Even in the middle of a statewide shutdown.
A lot more people were interested in what's going on with the city, what we do to impact the virus and other things. And with that, we had 12 actually, candidates apply.
But only 8 of those 12 were given interviews by the selecting committee, made up of Spears, Councilman John Thompson, and Mayor Carl Gerlach. Dan Osmond ran against Spears just over 6 months ago, losing by roughly 16%. He applied this time, but did not get an interview.
If I were trying to view the person that I just ran against as a potential applicant, my first inclination is I would recuse myself to ensure that there's no conflict of interest.
Spears is on the committee because he's the council president. He says Osmond not making the cut for an interview was about his experience, not politics.
His experience and his service to the community had been over on the Missouri side. We were looking more for more current and more relevant to our community. Actually, I was complimentary of him at the initial meeting, saying that he brought a lot to the party. It's just it wasn't in the Kansas area.
All of the committee's meetings were available to watch on Zoom, but they weren't recorded. Each of the 8 remaining candidates interviewed in person, including eventual finalist Stacey Graham.
Because I think that as you drive, just for example, Metcalf, south all the way out to the farthest ends of Overland Park, the tenor of Overland Park changes, and I'd really like to see more revitalization of northern Overland Park.
And Patty Markley.
They asked everything from why do you want to run? Why do you think you're the most qualified? What is your deliberative process? How do you come to decisions? What do you think about incentives?
Spears called all 12 candidates very strong and says it's proof that the current climate drives people to speak up to make sure their city is ready.
I'm getting more emails and more phone calls regarding a wide variety of things, not just necessarily the virus, but some of the impacts of that and the nuances of what some of the changes in the laws are going to be because of it.
Patty Markley, one of the finalists you heard from there, says that she knows her fellow finalist, Stacey Graham, very well and be happy if either of them are selected. They'll both be interviewed by the full city council during a committee meeting prior to tonight's city council meeting. That starts at 5:30. If the council agrees on a choice, that person could be sworn in as the city's newest council member tonight. Both the committee meeting and the full council meeting you can watch online tonight.